And I'm Sue Hausmann, and today I'd like to introduce to you Andrew Kaymer.
Hi.
And Andrew actually is the person that is in charge of embroidery software for SVP Worldwide. And Andrew, we love the 5D card shop.
Well, we love what you've been doing with us.
It's been so fun.
That's why we're here, to see all this fun stuff.
We're going to focus on finishing, but we thought it'd be fun if you showed us how to create this little off to college card.
Okay. Well, the thing about 5D card shop, of course, is how quick it is. That's how we designed it. So you go into it, you come up now with the wizard, or we can select for this little operation the new school. So we select that. And then the next screen, we've got all these different types of templates. So I think we'll select the portrait one here.
So you just click on the one you want.
Yeah,
That's
it.
easy.
And you can scroll through. There's different methods of searching if you want. Then the next screen, we're going to choose how we're going to sew it out. Now, of course, we've designed it so it sews out in this multi-part hoop all in one if you pick the correct size.
If you have a hoop like this. But if you
That's
don't...
right. If you don't, you can do it as 4 pieces.
Right. So it is 4 pieces in
so
your smaller
basically,
hoops.
it works on any machine. See,
Perfect.
This is the thing.
Perfect.
Okay.
And all formats.
Yes.
All multi-formats
Yes.
you designed it for.
That's right. Okay, so we just click Finish. And up on the screen comes our card. We can go to the inner page. And we've got this little block here which says Your Text Here, which we probably don't want.
No.
So we want to customize that. So we get a little A coming up with our cursor. We click on there. And then we can just overwrite the text that we've got. And this person is going to somewhere in USA called Wilmington, I believe. So.
All right.
Okay, so
Wilmington, here you come. So you simply write in or type in the
That's
actual
right.
text that you want, and that's what's great about this. Perfect.
as long as you can type, and I can't type very well.
That's okay. And then just finish, right? It's done.
That's it. Click OK, and it's done.
There it is.
Simple
And
as that.
write it to, save it to a
Save
USB
it to
stick.
your USB stick, send it across to your machine.
And again, here it's been stitched out. Now, we've done a lot of little videos and shown that they do stitch out in the hoop, but I'm sure people are asking, how would we finish these? And I have to share with you that you and I thought of it totally differently for finishing.
That's right.
You thought of it more as a printer, and I thought of it more as a sewer or a quilter.
That's it.
And so here we see the version that we've shown with the cardstock in it, and it's top stitched.
I must say, folks, this is how I thought of it.
Yeah,
Exactly
I know.
like this.
And when I saw it, I was like, I had already made a few, and I went, oh, that's not the way I thought of it
It's a
at
bit
all.
you
So
thought it was a bit boring.
so many opportunities, so many different ways and projects you can do. It's so fun. Here, just adding a little ribbon and changing your color with your edge stitching foot. But how about piping? How about now turning this into a little quilt? That's what I thought of immediately. Just enveloping it together, it's called, and adding piping. And so this is one that I did, and Janie did another one, really cute.
Mm-hmm.
And you made your own piping.
I did. I used a special foot and made my own piping with just some fabric strips.
So you can make your own piping so it'll match.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Okay.
just use your fabric and cover your cord, and you can cut this cross grain or bias because we have straight edges to go around. So that easy. But that means all we would do here would be to take that piping, and as I said, I have a lot of this stuff at home, and so I just kind of used what I had.
I've been to your house. You've got a
Yeah,
lot more.
you're right. You're right. That's all I could bring. And we simply then, with a piping foot, and most machines today have a piping foot, stitch that piping along one edge. You don't put it all the way around because this is going to come over like this.
Okay.
So you stitch it when I say one edge. It's the one side. It's the front and the back of the card is what I usually put it on. Then, if you extend the ends out like that to finish them, bring this
Turn
over.
it over, Sue.
Turn it over.
And you'll have a stitching guideline from where you stitched the first time.
Right, so you stitch right back over with your piping foot, but you leave a hole to turn it right side out.
Oh, because otherwise it would be a problem.
Yeah, so let's show that on another way here. Again, hope you get well soon. Very quick to make. I can see these being made all the time, made ahead to give to people as gifts. And then I decided, I saw the way you did it with the cardstock. I decided I'm going to do it with a little bit of trim. So again, I had this trim at home, use up the scraps. So how do we do this? We put that trim on, just as we did the piping, except in this case I used an open toe foot, so I could see what I was doing. Then I brought it over and sewed it. But before you go to turn it right side out, go to your iron and press these seam allowances to the wrong side.
Oh, to the wrong side.
And you have that stitching line in there to follow.
Yeah, it's and it's
Mhm.
stabilized.
Right.
That normally I tell people to baste there, and then take a piece of the fusible web and put it right onto that before you turn it right side out. And this is pressure sensitive, so it'll stick. All you have to do is just stick it on there, and then you reach in and you simply turn it right side out, and it turns right side out into a little quilt. So I'm going to give this to Janie. She's going to keep turning, because I'm going to keep showing, and then we'll have it turned in a second. This is one that Lena did, and she had a two-part for people with smaller hoops.
Okay, because it's the separate sections. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
and of course there's seam allowances there. So people have to know that they don't have to sew that one whole thing. Actually, she sewed it in 4 pieces.
Because I saw this on the side, and I thought someone sewed it inside out.
No. Now she left one whole end open, which probably is smart, because you can turn it a lot easier by just reaching in and turning it. And of course we would take our point turner and we would turn and poke out those points. We'd go to the ironing board, we'd press that flat, and you see how that gives us those great finished edges.
Oh, okay.
And now just press it well and you have your really sweet little card.
And
How about
that's
that?
a beautiful one with those stitches in the
Oh,
metallic
yeah.
threads.
Let's put that in the shot because I think they want to see that. This is a fill, isn't it?
Yes, that's a nice open fill done with a metallic thread. And also, actually, in the fill, there is a pattern as well, which you can probably see.
Was
You can
stamped?
see- Yeah.
Stamped
Well,
on?
it's not stamping it, but it's actually in the pattern.
In the
Like
pattern.
stamping.
Neat. You're going to have that on the web, Miss Janie,
Yes.
so we know how to do it.
Yes.
Everything we want to know how to do. And then here's another one, in this case the plain with the cards in it, or the version with the trim, and here the little rickrack. Now a lot of people think to only look for rickrack in a package like this, but rickrack also comes on spools and often on the sale rack. Ask me how I know that. So another way to finish it, and the little cards that you might want to add, the little, these are the hot fix cards, and add a button.
Those are cute.
You know, so a lot of us have a lot of these left over too from different projects, and now we can use up the scrap ones. And I added the
isn't
little,
that good?
this was a bridal trim,
An insert.
and I used a beading foot, but you also could use a zipper foot if you don't have a beading foot. And you'd put that on, just like we did the piping.
So this is looking like little glass pearls or something.
It is, around the edge
Lovely.
of that. So isn't that fun and easy to do? Now, how about binding? That was another thought I had. Well, it's like a little mini quilt. So we could bind the edge. Here's actually one that was done with the cards and with some little buttons for trim. But here we have a bound one with those hot fix crystals, and those of course just go on boom, 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 and they're on
Oh, there,
permanently.
it's great. If you
I
move the
know.
card,
Isn't
it's
that fun?
fantastic.
So here, the card was created. In my case, I have that large hoop. I'm so fortunate. So I created it all as one. And then I went and trimmed 2/4-inch seam allowances. And of course, that's easy because of the stitching that's automatically done. It's all marked for you. You just lay your ruler on it and use your rotary cutter. And then you fold it and press it. And you could put this together with a little temporary spray adhesive. You could put cardstock in there. I sometimes like to put fusible web, and I'm going to show you that in a
Okay.
minute because that makes it stiffer. But once you've put it together, then you're going to bind it. And in this case, we could use binding, but we used ribbon. And ribbon can make a really sweet binding, and using a bias binder type foot. However, going around corners is not easy. So guess what? Let's just eliminate going around corners. So when we start, we fold under an edge like so to get a finished edge there.
Fuse that with a little of your fusible.
You could use your fusible web, and you sew it to there as a binding in your bias binder foot. Leave a piece extending,
Right.
and then over here, leave a piece extending and start again, and then you tie those corners up.
Oh, so that's why you get the bow.
We didn't have to go around the corner, and we got an extra detail
Very
at
smart.
the same time.
Very
What do you
smart.
think? Makes it so easy, and isn't that a fun one to do? So finish it maybe with binding or with ribbon as a binding to finish your 5D card shop. Then I got to thinking we could do this even quicker, because really for invitations and things we want them to be so fast. Now these are what they call fusible web. They're paper backed fusible web, and the two means that they have 2 pieces of paper, one on each side, and one side of that paper always pulls off more easily than the other. There's a light version and there's a regular version. I think the regular version is what we want to use because it makes it stiffer. And so here we see this card. It's a 2-sided invitation, 2-sided card. right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what we did, this one actually had already been trimmed for the cardstock, but I thought, I'm going to do this quicker. So I took my fusible web, and I simply pulled off the side that comes off more easily, and this is pressure sensitive, so you simply put it down like so.
But you have to iron it as well.
You will iron it, but this will
Right,
hold it in
okay.
place for me till I get to the ironing board. I don't have it centered up perfectly. You can pull it up again and get it centered up where it's supposed to be. Now, you could just do one side, but I thought it'd make it stiffer because this does add a little stiffness if I use the double side.
And this is actually done.
That's done with the double. Mhm.
Okay.
So now, once you've pressure sensitive put that down, you take your iron, and now with the paper still on,
Okay.
you iron this, okay?
Right.
And you turn it over, and you give it lots of steam from this side. The
And that,
steam
that
is,
draws the heat through it.
right, and it really adheres that. And then you pull off the paper and fold it over like so, and steam again.
Mm-hmm.
So once you pull that paper off, you've got those 2 layers of web.
Okay.
Now, let it get cool. And then go to your rotary cutting board, or you could do with a paintbrush here. I mean, you could simply take, you have little edges to practice or little scraps to practice. I always say, don't throw all these pieces away because you want them to practice on, see how you like it. But the other thing, what I ended up using on this one was my little rotary cutter. It's a rotary cutter that you use that does the scallops or the little pinked edges. So this is a really fast way to finish.
And because you use the web, it won't fray, or do
It won't
you?
fray. Mm-mm.
That's
It won't fray. And I mean, are you going to wash this?
No.
No. Okay. I just wanted to
Probably
check.
not.
Just checking. Well, then I decided, hey, we could do cards that way too. Just peel it off, put it in here, fold it over, iron it, cut it. So we can finish these really quick.
Very fast.
Very fast finishing. What do you think?
Excellent.
Thanks for making the program.
Thank you.